Have you ever stood in a forest so ancient, so alive, that the trees seemed to breathe with you? Felt the weight of a river's current like a heartbeat, pulsing with stories older than words? Imagine if every stone beneath your feet, every gust of wind brushing your skin, wasn't just matter but a presence, a spirit watching, feeling and whispering secrets of a world beyond our own. This is the world of animism, a vision older than recorded history, where life hums in everything around us. For countless generations, people across the globe shared this vision without a name, sensing something profound in the landscape itself. They didn't see nature as a backdrop, a resource, or simply inanimate. Instead, mountains, rivers, forests, and even the smallest pebble were alive, vibrant with spirit and meaning. It's a worldview that challenges how we modern humans see the world today, mechanized, divided, and disconnected. But what did these ancient eyes truly perceive? Why did so many cultures from the icy north to tropical jungles converge on this idea? What was it in the rustle of leaves or the flicker of flame that made them believe in an unseen presence coursing through every corner of the earth? And perhaps more importantly, what have we lost as the world grew quieter in this way? This isn't just a story about distant myths or forgotten rituals. Animism carries a living heartbeat that echoes in the ways communities once lived, loved, and respected the planet. It shaped their ethics, their stories, their very identity, and surprisingly, it hasn't disappeared. Today, as we confront environmental crises and search for deeper meaning, echoes of animistic wisdom quietly re-emerge in modern spirituality, indigenous rights movements, and even scientific explorations of consciousness. Before we step further into this ancient world, I want to ask something of you, not just as a viewer, but as a witness to something sacred. As you listen, don't just hear these ideas, feel them. Let the presence in stone and stream and tree and sky move through you. Let it challenge the way you think about life and connection. And when this journey ends, come back to this moment and ask yourself, which of these spirits still walk beside you? Which whisper calls to your own soul's truth? Subscribe, not merely to follow a channel, but to join a remembering. Like this video not for the numbers, but as a sign, an offering, to honor the living world that surrounds and sustains us. And if something stirs within you as these stories unfold, don't hold it in. Share this with someone who senses that the world is more alive than it seems, that our bonds with nature are deeper than we've been told. Now, listen closely. Let the spirits rise again. Let the journey into animism begin. Animism is the ancient understanding that spirit or life force dwells not only in humans or animals, but in everything around us: trees, stones, rivers, winds, and even the stars. It's a worldview that sees the natural world as alive and conscious, filled with beings that think, feel, and interact. This isn't just poetic thinking, but a deeply rooted way of perceiving reality, where every part of the environment pulses with a unique essence, deserving respect and attention. The term animism itself was first introduced by E.B. Tylor, a 19th century anthropologist who described it as the belief in spiritual beings. He saw animism as humanity's earliest attempt to explain the mysteries of life, death, and the natural world. For him, it was a primitive stage on the path toward more advanced religion and science. Yet, as scholarship evolved, this view has been challenged and refined. Contemporary thinkers understand animism as a sophisticated relational philosophy, rather than a naive or simplistic belief. It is about engaging with the world as a community of subjects, not as objects to be used. Animism differs sharply from other spiritual frameworks, especially pantheism and polytheism. Pantheism suggests that everything is part of one divine essence, blending all existence into a single godly force. Polytheism worships many gods, each with their own domains and stories, often in human-like forms. Animism, however, emphasizes the individuality and agency of countless spirits embedded in natural elements. Each river, each stone, each tree holds its own spirit, its own story, and its own power. This creates a complex network of relationships, far more localized and personal than a universal god or pantheon. Importantly, animism was never a primitive superstition. It is a way of life built on respect and ongoing dialogue with the world's living beings. Ancient societies didn't see spirits as distant or abstract, but as neighbors and kin. They sought balance and reciprocity, knowing that harmony with these spirits was essential for survival and well-being. Shamans, elders, and spiritual leaders acted as mediators in these relationships, maintaining the delicate weave between humans and the rest of the natural community. This relational worldview challenges modern assumptions that separate humans from nature. Instead of seeing the earth as a machine to control, animism invites us to view it as a vibrant, aware partner. It encourages empathy and responsibility, demanding that we listen deeply and act with care. This is why many indigenous cultures continue to live by animistic principles today, preserving a wisdom that sustains both people and planet. As we continue, we'll explore how this understanding shaped ancient rituals and daily life. We'll also see how animism persists, quietly influencing contemporary spirituality and ecological thought. Far from fading into obscurity, animism remains a vital thread in humanity's ongoing story, a call to remember that the world is alive, speaking to us through every stone, every tree, and every flowing river. Animism is not confined to one corner of the world. It is a thread woven through the cultures of nearly every continent, whispering the same profound truth, that the natural world is alive with spirit. From the lush forests of Japan to the vast deserts of Australia, from the dense jungles of Africa to the sweeping plains of North America, animism lives in the stories, rituals, and hearts of indigenous peoples. It is a worldview that transcends geography, connecting diverse communities through a shared sense of sacred relationship with the earth. In Japan, Shinto is one of the clearest examples of animistic belief, thriving within a major religion. Shinto teaches that kami, spirits or gods, reside in all natural things. The towering cedars, the flowing rivers, the mist that clings to mountaintops. Shrines dedicated to these kami dot the landscape, and rituals honor the presence and power of these spirits, inviting humans to live in harmony with their surroundings. The Shinto tradition reminds us that the divine is not far away, but present in the everyday world around us. Travel across the ocean to Australia and you enter the Dreamtime, a sacred framework held by Aboriginal peoples that describes the creation of the world through ancestral beings who shaped the land, animals, and people. These ancestral spirits still live in the rivers, rocks, and animals today. The landscape itself becomes a living memory, a sacred story etched into every hill and waterhole. The Dreamtime is not just a mythic past, but a constant living presence that guides ethical behavior and connects people to their land and each other. In Africa, many tribal societies carry animistic traditions that see the land as a powerful spirit-filled entity. The Yoruba of West Africa believe in a complex network of spirits called orishas, who govern elements of nature and human life. These spirits are honored through music, dance, and ritual, maintaining balance between the visible and invisible worlds. Similarly, the San people of southern Africa engage with the spirit world through trance dances that invite healing and connection with ancestral forces, emphasizing the deep spiritual ties between people and the earth. Native American cultures offer a rich tapestry of animistic beliefs as well, each tribe with unique traditions but a shared reverence for nature. The Lakota see the Black Hills as a sacred center of the world, home to powerful spirits and ancestors. The Hopi hold ceremonies that honor the cycles of life and the spirits of animals and plants, believing that the survival of all depends on maintaining respectful relationships. These rituals are not performances, but acts of living faith, binding community, land, and spirit into a single whole. What unites these diverse cultures is their profound understanding that humans are not separate from nature, but part of an ongoing conversation with it. Their rituals, stories, and ceremonies serve as bridges, nurturing respect and care for the environment. Whether it is a festival celebrating the first rain, a prayer to the mountain spirits, or a dance invoking the healing power of the forest, these practices reflect an intimate bond between people and the living world. In today's fast-paced modern world, these animistic traditions offer a reminder of the sacredness beneath the surface of everyday life. They invite us to pause and listen, to see beyond the physical and recognize the spirit vibrating in every tree, rock, and river. As we continue, we will explore how these beliefs shaped ancient societies and how they endure, inspiring new ways to reconnect with the planet we call home. For ancient peoples, animism was not just a belief system. It was the foundation of everyday life, guiding how they farmed, healed, governed, and understood their place in the world. In societies deeply rooted in animistic traditions, the land was alive with spirits whose moods and desires influenced the success of crops, the health of communities, and the balance of nature itself. Agriculture was more than a practical task. It was a sacred dialogue with the earth, where rituals sought permission and blessing from the spirits dwelling in soil, seeds, and rain. Farmers knew that planting and harvesting were acts of trust and respect. Before tilling the land, offerings might be made to the spirit of the field, thanking it for past abundance and asking for continued fertility. These ceremonies reinforced a sense of reciprocity. Humans took only what was needed and gave back through song, dance, or sacrifice. This relationship ensured survival and maintained harmony, weaving spiritual awareness into the very fabric of subsistence. Healing, too, was entwined with animistic understanding. Illness was rarely seen as a purely physical problem. It was believed that a disturbed spirit or a broken connection with nature could cause sickness. Shamans and spiritual leaders acted as vital intermediaries, journeying into other worlds to communicate with spirits, retrieve lost souls, and restore balance. Their knowledge of herbs and rituals was inseparable from their spiritual roles, blending science and magic in ways that still inspire modern holistic practices. Stories passed through generations told of spirits inhabiting rivers, forests, mountains, and storms, each with its own personality, power, and lessons. A river spirit might be protective but also jealous, requiring respect to avoid floods or drought. Forest spirits could offer shelter and guidance, but also punish those who harmed their domain. Weather phenomena like thunder and lightning were often seen as the voices or weapons of powerful deities or ancestral beings. These stories were more than myths. They were living maps for navigating the natural world, teaching how to live in harmony rather than in conflict. Ethics and social norms in animistic societies flowed from this understanding of interconnectedness. People believed they were part of a vast community that included animals, plants, and spirits. This sense of kinship demanded responsibility to honor the earth, to act justly, and to protect the vulnerable. Respect for the natural world was inseparable from respect for each other, creating laws and customs that balanced human needs with ecological sustainability. In many cultures, shamans and spiritual leaders held esteemed roles as guardians of this balance. They were the voices of the spirits, the keepers of ancient wisdom, and the mediators between seen and unseen worlds. Their ceremonies could bring rain, heal wounds, or guide souls on their journey after death. These figures shaped social cohesion, moral order, and cultural identity, reminding everyone that their lives were woven into a living, breathing web of relationships. The impact of animism extended beyond rituals and beliefs. It shaped the very way ancient people viewed time, space, and existence. Nature was not a backdrop to human drama, but a protagonist in its own right, deserving attention and care. This mindset fostered sustainable practices, deep environmental knowledge, and a spiritual richness that modern societies are only beginning to rediscover. As we look closer, the enduring legacy of animism reveals how ancient wisdom can illuminate contemporary struggles. It teaches that healing the earth means healing ourselves, that respect for the natural world is the foundation of justice, and that every living thing holds a story worth honoring. This is the heartbeat of animism, alive in ancient lives and pulsing into the future. Despite the sweeping changes brought by modernization, urbanization, and global religions, animism has never truly vanished. It endures quietly within many modern religious traditions, especially those rooted in indigenous cultures. In places where ancient practices have been passed down through generations, animism remains a living faith, woven into ceremonies, daily life, and community values. These traditions continue to honor the spirits of the land, maintaining sacred connections with nature despite the pressures of a rapidly changing world. In many parts of Asia, Africa, and the Americas, animistic beliefs coexist alongside major world religions. In Japan, Shinto rituals honoring kami persist in neighborhoods and shrines, blending seamlessly with Buddhism. In Africa, indigenous spiritual practices honoring ancestral and natural spirits are often integrated with Christianity and Islam. Far from being relics, these beliefs adapt and survive, testifying to a resilience that refuses to be erased. They remind us that spirituality is deeply rooted in place and culture, resisting homogenization. Beyond indigenous communities, animistic thinking has seen a striking resurgence in New Age and eco-spirituality movements worldwide. As environmental crises deepen and the limitations of materialism become clearer, many seekers turn to ancient wisdom for guidance. Practices that honor the spirit of trees, rivers, and mountains have gained popularity among those searching for meaning and connection in a fractured world. Rituals inspired by animism, such as earth-centered ceremonies, plant medicine journeys, and nature meditations, offer a path back to reverence and respect for the natural world. This revival isn't just about nostalgia or spiritual trendiness. It reflects a profound shift in consciousness. People are waking up to the realization that the earth is not merely a resource to be exploited, but a living, breathing entity deserving of care and honor. The language of spirit, once dismissed as superstition, is re-emerging as a vital tool for healing both individuals and the planet. This renewed connection invites a deeper understanding of ecology, community, and personal well-being. Modern science, too, is beginning to echo some of animism's insights. Studies on animal intelligence, plant communication, and ecosystems complexity reveal a world far more interconnected and conscious than previously imagined. This blurs the boundaries between humans and nature. Echoing the relational worldview animism has always championed. For many, this scientific awakening complements spiritual experiences, creating a fuller picture of life's mystery and wonder. Across urban centers and remote villages alike, people today are rediscovering ways to reweave their lives into the fabric of the natural world. Gardening with intention, participating in seasonal rituals, listening to the cycles of the moon and stars, these acts reconnect modern life with ancient rhythms. The call of the wild, the whisper of the forest, the rush of a river, all invite us to remember that the world is alive with spirit, waiting to be seen and honored once again. Animism's survival and resurgence remind us that the ancient dialogue between humans and nature is far from over. It challenges us to rethink our place in the world, not as masters but as partners and kin. As we face unprecedented ecological and social challenges, animism offers not only history but hope. A vision where the sacred is everywhere and every living thing matters. Have you ever felt the silent voice of the forest, the quiet pulse of a river flowing beneath your feet? These are the whispers of a world that has never truly stopped speaking to us, if only we choose to listen. Animism, this ancient belief in the spirit of all things, invites us to see beyond the surface and reconnect with the living essence woven into every tree, stone, and stream. It challenges us to ask, what if the world around us is not lifeless matter, but a community of beings with which we share our fate? In our modern lives, often rushed and disconnected, animism offers lessons more urgent than ever. It teaches sustainability, not as a buzzword, but as a sacred obligation to live in harmony with the earth. It fosters empathy, urging us to feel the pain of a dying forest or the thirst of a shrinking river as if they were our own. It encourages coexistence, reminding us that we are not separate masters, but part of a vast, intricate web of life, dependent on each other for survival and flourishing. The future of this living worldview lies not in museums or dusty books, but in the hearts and actions of those willing to open their eyes and hearts anew. The world may be whispering still through the rustle of leaves, the call of birds, the murmur of water. If we learn to listen with reverence and humility, these whispers carry ancient wisdom about balance, respect, and interconnectedness, waiting for us to answer. Embracing animism today is more than honoring tradition. It is a call to awaken to the sacredness of all life. It challenges us to rethink our relationship with the planet, to heal the wounds of exploitation and indifference. This worldview invites us to step lightly, speak gently, and act with care, knowing that every stone and stream holds a spirit that matters. If you believe, like me, that the world is alive and waiting for us to remember this truth, then join this journey. Subscribe not just to follow a channel, but to become part of a shared awakening. Like this video not just as a number, but as a sign, an offering to the living earth that sustains us. And if these stories stir something within you, share them with someone who senses the world's quiet spirit too. Together, let us listen to the whispers, honor the spirits, and carry forward the ancient song of animism, because the world is alive, and so are we.